Good day, everyone. My name is Jeff King, and I'm one of the sales leaders here at InflowCX, an Amplix company. Thank you for joining today's webinar on overcoming workforce management challenges. In this session, our expert John Watkinson will provide you with some valuable insights into tackling workforce management challenges. In this session, we'll bring about some strategies for refining scheduling processes, improving forecasting accuracy, and enhancing some performance management. Additionally, we'll explore some cutting-edge technologies shaping the future of workforce management and providing you with some tools to drive operational efficiency and adapt to evolving landscapes. Before we get started, I want to announce that we do have a couple upcoming webinars. This is our last one for November, so we'll have a couple in December. One on December 12th, tailoring the generative AI. And then on December 19th, we'll do streamline customer feedback. Which are both great sessions. We'll have some leaders come in and present for those, so stay tuned. All right, let's get started here with our agenda. We'll talk a little bit about who Inflow is, then we'll go right over into John's presentation, and we'll have room for Q&A late or during the presentation. You're more than welcome to ask questions in our Q&A, and we'll either answer those live or after the call. And then we'll have an opportunity for you to contact us later if you choose not to ask your questions during the presentation. For us, I know several of you have attended these before, which is fantastic, so welcome back. We are Amplix. Amplix is our parent company, and we're the CX side of Amplix. We provide really a vendor-neutral approach to CX technology and evaluation. Our firm does consulting, we do BPOs, but mostly we try to figure out which box is best for you. A lot of companies will try to put you in their box, and we have a lot of boxes we're going to talk about, and that will put your mind at ease, like we like to say, because it gives you the opportunity to tackle what's best for you versus what some companies have to sell you. We've done this for tons of different companies in a lot of different sectors. And you can see here some of our top customers that we have out there that have all agreed to be references for us. They'll range anywhere from tech, retail, finance, healthcare. We can bring about a level of expertise that a lot of people don't, and it's just because of our experience in the contact center world. When we talk about experience, for some companies, they're making that transition for the first time. And to do that is a little overwhelming. And one of the things that we do at Inflow is we help you narrow down what you're looking for, what you need, and what your future growth is going to look like. So some people know all of it, and some people don't know any of it at the time. And that's the nice thing about Inflow. We help you gather those critical needs, future needs, and wants, and then place you with the best companies that fit. From there, we'll do an evaluation and allow you to go through that experience from an ROI perspective, also from a technology review to make sure what we're looking at really fits your needs and obviously ever-evolving needs in this contact center world. But today, we're going to turn it over to our expert, like I said, John Watkinson. He's going to take it from here and walk you through some really great stuff. John?
Thanks, Jeff. Again, John Watkinson. Hello to everybody. I am in beautiful, not sunny, but snow-filled Indiana today, talking to you guys. So crazy weather right now, but all good. So we're going to jump in to talk about workforce management, the challenges that everybody faces, and how AI can help, in those instances. So I have about 42 slides I need to go through in 20 minutes. I'm just kidding. I don't have many slides, but this is really a time for me to just talk through some of those things. Hopefully you guys can pop some questions in, and I'm here to answer any of those. So the first thing we need to start with is how can we be more efficient with our WFM team and our processes, right? You guys are facing roadblocks, hurdles, objections, challenges, people not wanting a shift you may have to give them. There are many, many reasons where we run into struggles and hurdles that we're going to talk through. One of the things I learned early on in my career is partnering with operations and partnering with IT. We're going to talk about operation for just a minute. I think one of the biggest benefits around workforce management knowledge and helping to overcome those hurdles is creating like a shadow program. Bring some representatives, some agents onto the WFM team for a half a day, a day in the life of workforce management to have them understand the choices that have to be made, the decisions that have to be made, because we're tied to financial goals sometimes. And it might not be exactly what the agent may want to see, but it is what the business needs to see. And it's explaining those whys. So create, an intern program, something that you can promote from within. Not everybody wants to be an agent for the rest of their life, and there is a career path there, I promise. So worth looking at to help share the why of what we do. Partnering with IT. So again, operations, very important. IT also very important. Work with them to help create dashboards for real-time monitoring. Most workforce management software comes out with certain RTA boards, real-time adherence boards. But there's other analytics that you need to be able to see and monitor and track throughout the day. So work with IT, go in with that magic wand, ask them if this data can be found and could be presented in a dashboard for easier monitoring and more real-time monitoring with alerts, if possible, right? Get access to everything you can. You don't know what you don't know, right? You think you have 1 through 7, but 1 through 15 might be available. So get on webinars like this with your vendor, learn about the product, learn about the future enhancements that are coming out. They're going to better your business. And we're going to get into some of those things that you should be asking, especially around the AI world, and where that's really going to help you make your work a little bit easier. Okay. And partnering with senior leadership team, the contact center manager and the head of, anything from quality to reporting to analytics, right? Working with all of these leaders. And when you want something, I've learned, again, in my years of experience, that calculate an ROI with it. Again, we're in a financial business to save dollars and be efficient. So if there are things that we need that can make our life easier, tie it to an ROI calculator when you can. Okay. All right. I'm going to roll over to the next slide. Thank you. 1 second. There we go. All right. So again, the title of this presentation is Truly Overcoming Workforce Management Challenges. What are some of the challenges? And feel free as I'm going through this to put in the Q&A, anything you want to that you're facing and challenges that I may not be covering, right? Would love to talk through those, but time consuming, right? Sometimes it's very manual. We feel like, nay, I say it, a glorified admin just adjusting schedules, right? For people that were stuck on a call during their break or had a system issue for 3 minutes, right? That needs to be adjusted. Set some hard and fast rules. All of those metrics are tied to an adherence goal. So again, adherence, how closely did I follow my schedule, right? To measure. If I was stuck on a call, it's not my fault. Well, we don't ask for 100%. We might ask for 93%, which is about 30 minutes a day that we know you're going to be stuck on calls. So we don't want that. We don't want you moving breaks and lunches and adding exceptions all day. We want you doing more ROI analysis and what if analysis. So we're going to talk about how we can reduce that time consumption that it feels like you may be experiencing today. The barriers between the agents and WFM, and I kind of talked about that a little bit ago. Explain the why. We all have jobs to do. They have jobs. They have statistics they need to keep. We have jobs. We have statistics we need to keep. And how can we work together? Create a team, a subset team that when decisions have to be made, we bring in agents from the floor, we bring in from workforce, we bring in from quality and analytics, and we come up with that process together versus mandating or rolling out and saying, here's what you're doing. Just try to partner as much as you can. The manual forecasting and scheduling, obviously, we're going to talk a lot about this. So what forecasting, we're going to get into the AI piece of this, obviously, and how this can help you. But a lot of people are just starting to get into the AI modeling with the forecasting method. But I just want to call out, AI is great. It will be great in the workforce management space. But for the most part today, it's looking at what happened yesterday and historically, right? The human absolutely still has to touch this and make changes for what's going to happen in the future. The AI may not yet know about the marketing campaign that went out. It may not know about the new line of business that's coming on next month. These are things where a human in the WFM space has to go in and touch that data to ensure its accuracy. So again, a lot of manual forecasting that is done, some automated, and we're going to talk about how AI is going to be able to help those. Lack of flexibility for the agent. Sorry about that. So what does that mean? Today, maybe we are assigning shifts. Maybe we do bids. Maybe I'm bidding on a 7 o'clock start and an 8 o'clock start, but we're handing out those shifts. What if we kind of remove that theory and okay, so I'm gonna age myself here a little bit, but you know, I sit in meetings, I talk to customers, and I hear them say, agents want to work split shifts. You're crazy. What are you talking about? So let's take our mind for just a minute and back out the shift bid, and let's talk about segments or hours or day bids, meaning I'm willing to work 7 to 10, and then I want to come back in at 2 until 7. I'm just kind of winging this, right? As I go along. But the point is, there's a generation out there that wants this shift. This is the best time that fits their needs. And that's where the AI also will help, because think of it as a preference-based bid, not necessarily a shift bid or a schedule bid, but here's my preference as a user. Can you match it? Can you do that for me? So those are things that we'll talk about also that I think will help employee satisfaction and get people to want to come to work each day versus, you know, that ugly feeling of, oh, I got to go to work. Let's work on that work-life balance. I'm a huge ESAT advocate, and within the product, I always try to find ways that we can get employee satisfaction and employee engagement. Lack of flexibility for the agents, that kind of ties in to what I was just saying. Can we tie in wellness breaks? What does that mean? You know, we have 2 breaks and a lunch. Most contact centers have that, right? But should we be throwing in extra breaks? And this is where the AI is going to start helping us, right? System, you tell us, can I assign 2 breaks, a lunch, and 2 5-minute wellness breaks? 2 extra breaks? Maybe I can, right? Let's run some what if scenarios and see if the system will allow us to do that. Low ESAT and high stress, right? And I'm going to talk now from the WFM standpoint. Sometimes we get beat up. We take a lot on our shoulders, right? There are many times we come out of meetings and say, we have to do this. We have to meet this metric. How are we going to find a way to do that? And that's where we want the tool to be able to help us. Most contact centers, not all, most contact centers are very, very rigid. John works 8 to 5, Jeff works 9 to 6, Kate works 10 to 7. Done. Well, a call pattern on Monday is not going to be the same on Thursday. It might make complete sense for John to take his break at 9:30 on Monday, but that is the worst time on Thursday. What can we do for flexibility to help our agents and help, again, the call arrival patterns to not cause agent burnout or WFM burnout, to try to keep forcing things down our agent's throat and maybe giving them more options. And then the last bullet I have on the left for challenges is finding the right forecast. It all starts here. Nothing will work if the forecast is not accurate. And again, next slide I'm going to jump to. We're going to talk about that modeling and how AI will be able to help us make better decisions. But I can't stress enough, it's looking at yesterday's data and what are we doing to make sure that we're modifying to ensure we have accurate data going forward. I kind of talked through some of the solutions. I'm not going to go through each one of those, but you know, the first bullet is really important. What can we automate? What today can we do to help automate our process? And again, as Jeff mentioned earlier, we're a full consulting service. We're here to help you. We're not trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Give us the hand you're dealt and let us help you, give you options, right, to make the right choice. We're not going to say, do plan A. Here's plan A, B, and C. What works best for your culture? That's what this is all about, is building that partnership. Just kind of looking through those, right? And the second to the last bullet on the right, just if you're following along, more time on analysis and what if scenarios. That's a big one, right? I mentioned earlier about moving the breaks and lunches to adjust for late calls and so on, or long calls and so on. We don't want to be doing that. If your adherence goal is 95, lower it to 92. We understand you're going to be stuck on calls. We need you planning for tomorrow, not trying to fix yesterday. There's a big debate, right? And for those of you in the industry, I'm sure you've had this question asked to you. Do you even exceptions? What does that mean? John was off the phone for 30 minutes yesterday, okay, or earlier today, 30 minutes off the phone. System problem, or left to go to the restroom, or whatever it was, he was off the phone. Why are we fixing it? Why are we adjusting it? Sure, we're helping and ensuring John's adherence results aren't incorrect. But that actually happened in our call center. When I run a forecast for the future, I need to know I average maybe 30 minutes per person extra off the phone. If you put that in the schedule, it could, depending on how we code that, see that as planned, and that's just normal business. So again, take a step back, write that question down, and just say, should we be doing this or should we not be doing this? All right, I'm going to move on to the next slide. And now here's where we're going to start getting into some of that AI stuff. What are we doing today, and what can AI do for us tomorrow? Okay. So your current WFM application, it may already have some AI stuff in it. Again, give us a call. Let's talk through those things. You only know what you know, right? There could be some options. For example, if you are trained to build out shifts or work plans that says John works 8 to 5, Jeff works 9 to 6, and Kate works 10 to 7, don't you want the system to tell you where people should work, right? And there are ways we can do that. There are things within the products out there that will allow that. So when I say have that magic wand and ask that question, do it. Your job is to gain efficiencies, and that's what we're here to help with, okay? The main application of AI in WFM is forecasting. That's where the AI lies today in a lot of the platforms out there. So again, it's looking at your historical data. It's saying the first week of the month is much busier than the last week of the month. Monday is busier than Thursday, right? It's seeing those trends. It's seeing that 9 Thursdays ago, you had an issue and your contact center shut down for a half hour, maybe you had a party, whatever it might be. In some forecast models, if AI isn't being used, you have to remember with a sticky note that you need to go back on that day and back out the day because the data is not accurate. I don't want to use those zeros for my modeling where the AI is saying, I recognize that and I'm going to pull that data out for you. So there's a lot of AI that's probably happening within your application today. And again, pick up the phone, give us a call. We're more than willing to help with any of those things. Machine learning algorithms, that's happening today, right? The machine learning is a big deal, right? It's looking for the detailed analysis, right? It's finding those trends. It's finding the day after a holiday, the day of a holiday, those things that are happening out there. It's learning those behaviors. That person that might be off the phone for 30 minutes, it's learning that. Again, looking at all the historical data, I've mentioned that, and analyzing that for you. Again, you, the human, still have to make adjustments going forward. Some platforms out there, again, I'm just going to put a scenario out there. Today is the 21st of November. Let's just say I'm running a schedule for December 1st through December 31st, okay? It's using, when I generate a forecast, it's using data from today back. What's going to happen between now and December 1st? It's not using any of that data in my modeling. Some platforms out there do account for what we'll call is a moving forecast or a forward progressive forecast. It's saying, John, you ran this forecast on this day. 3 days later, the next day, 5 days later, the day of December 1st, regenerate that. I want to bring in that most recent data and system reallocate those breaks and lunches for me. When I ran this on the 21st, it made sense to have breaks and lunches here. But now with this call pattern shift, I need to reallocate those. So again, the forecasting model is very critical, and I can't stress enough that it starts there, right? When we look at that historical data, it's looking at interval data. What happens in the morning versus the evening? What happens between 1 and 4? It's looking at that interval data, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. It's working on all of those predictions for you. and it's happening. And again, a lot of the platforms out there are using that today. Always digesting new data. So today, if there's an anomaly, it's learning that behavior. Last Monday, if there was an anomaly, it's learning that behavior. It's constantly learning. There are multiple forecast methods out there to use. Some people say, I want to touch the data. I want to use this data. I want to be the only one that controls this data. You can do that. There's different forecast models where I can say, I want to pick these weeks. I want to pick the first week of every month all year because I'm modeling for the first week of December. That is my pattern. Perfect. You can do that. But again, where AI is coming into play, it's saying, I know this is for the first week of December. I'm going to look at those first weeks of every month over the historical data that you have to make those predictions. So we have some options when we're running that forecast modeling today. A lot of that could be in your system today. What does WFM mean for tomorrow, right? What is that going to look like when we get there? So it's obviously going to transform performance. So many more variables will come into play with early detection. So we're going to see things that are happening. We're going to be able to, via intraday, so seeing a real-time dashboard that's calling out and saying, hey, we see this anomaly. We see your volume is down 25% today. You can start having more meetings, more trainings. It's going to reforecast some of that data for you. So that's what's coming. Some products today have this, some don't, but picture I'm out to lunch and I'm coming back and I'm running late because I'm stopped behind the 12:20 p.m. train that goes by every day, right? I could go onto my mobile app and say, hey, I'm running late for 15 minutes. It's going to notify the workforce management team or supervisor, whoever controls this, and they're either going to approve it or deny it. If you approve it, it writes into the schedule. It's done. We're going to allow it because, again, think about it. We can allow that because volume is down today, or I'm not going to approve it because volume is high today, whatever your policy is. But think about the automation. Again, some products have that today, but that's a big place where workforce is going. Imagine going onto my mobile app and requesting today off, my basement flooded. I can't come in. Boom, done, approved. I got a notification. I don't need to call anybody. I don't need to do this. Maybe calling in sick. That can go back for a long, long debate of how that's always worked well in the contact centers. But you know what? If you're off, you're off. At some point, as a workforce person, you're saying, don't need to know the why. Just need to know if you're taking the day off. Mark it appropriately, right? But again, it's going to learn those behaviors where maybe more people are off on Mondays and Fridays than they are on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Let's talk about time off calendars, where this is going to go. It's going to recognize that trend and allow more people off midweek than maybe on the end of weeks because of absenteeism. So much we could go down this path on, right, that we could talk about. Weather, let's talk about weather. If there's a storm coming in, and you're in a travel industry, right? You may say initiate overtime if 3 feet of snow is going to hit Denver, because Southwest and other airlines are going to be canceling their flights, right? There's some automation behind there that's coming that looks spectacular. I can't wait to see it. And I use my bullet automagically. I'm trending that right now. It is trending on the socials, but automagically adjusting staffing schedules when these things happen. That's where we're going. That's where we're getting to. So good stuff coming. I mentioned the running late notification. Go on a mobile app, notify. Service goals, right? What are our service goals? Want to be able to run more what if scenarios. System, look at my historic data, but today we're running an 80-20. What will it take to run an 80-15? We can do that manually. Sometimes you can go in, reset all your goals, regenerate everything, but maybe there's going to be an easier way coming out that will help us do some of that stuff. Agent availability. This one is big. I kind of mentioned this earlier about where people want to bid on times of day, not necessarily shifts. We want to give that option. 4x10s, a lot of things like that. We want to be able to roll out and get the agent availability and tie that into the bid. Don't force the bid on an agent. Let's see if John comes in and says he wants to work 8 to 10 and 2 to 4 and 8 to midnight. I'm kind of winging this, right? But that's what I want to work. Hey, we can make that happen. Done. We're going to fill in slots versus shifts. It's a big push that's coming. I'm excited to see that. So getting agent availability helps the ESAT score, helps us staff our contact centers as needed. And And what can we introduce? What can we automate? So again, go to a whiteboard, talk about the manual processes that you have, and let's talk through those things and make sure, right, that we're addressing those, and you're not, stumbling each day. We are truly here to help with those processes. So I know I was given a 5-minute ending window, but give me just one more minute. I have this up here just to see if there's any questions. Anyone have any questions on that? There was a question that I saw that said, will natural eye, I read this somewhere, this is awesome too, natural eye be replaced with AI? No, I don't see that coming anytime soon. And when I say anytime soon, years and years down the road, there has to be a human touch into workforce management. Can we automate processes? Absolutely. There's lots of automation that we can do. But again, where AI is coming in is today. It's looking at yesterday to today. The human has to take today going forward and make those adjustments as needed. So, Jeff, I'm going to pass this over to you if there are no other questions, and I can be done at this point.
Yeah, thank you, John. I don't see any questions at this
Okay.
time in the Q&A, so we're good there. I appreciate that. We have this question come up regularly from the companies that we work with. They know how they've done it in the past. They want to know how it's supposed to work in the future, and they want some help organizing their thoughts around what they should do. And workforce management is crucial, especially with everything being, shouldn't say everything, a lot of things being remote now and not being able to physically see that person sitting in that seat and what they're doing all the time. I think this was a great session. I really appreciate you jumping on and bringing all that advice and thoughts to it for sure. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We do have our 844 number there, as well as our general contact info that goes to Kylie, and she'll make sure and distribute it out, and we'll get those questions and answered for you. Again, thank you so much, John. I appreciate it again. Have a great day, everyone.